When you come out on a body of water, today we're up on Butamore here, but Winnebago, anywhere when you start fishing reefs, rock points and stuff like that, and a key way for me to find these fish and work them is I like to cover a lot of water. And what I'll do is I'm always like, now our conditions have changed. We've got some dirty water in here, so everything's dirty. So you have this big expansive area and there's not a lot of wind. And so what I like to do to locate these fish is I'll put a bottom bouncer on, either a 3/4 or a 1 ounce bottom bouncer with a single hook harness like we're showing. And what we'll do is I'll pull with the bow mount so you're nice and quiet. I lift the back motor up so the guys in the front of the boat don't have, there you go Greg, don't have to worry. You got a nice one? You don't have to worry about snagging up the prop in the back there. And it's a fast way, that's a decent fish. You know what, it's a fast way. Oh, small one, yeah. It looked like, Greg, you were really working that fish for everything you had. It's a fast way to cover a lot of water to find these fish and locate them. And you can continuously keep pulling back and forth over and over on them. But a lot of times when you're fishing on rocks, these walleyes will like hang in one small area. Of course, that's probably where the bait is in there. And you can then anchor up and start pitching jigs to them or slip bobbering too. The other key thing I like about using the bottom bouncers is that a lot of times, like now, we've lost all our wind, and before it was pretty choppy and the wind was coming out of the south and we were working the south face of the reef. And for the most part, that's where your active fish are going to be, is on wherever on the windward side. Now that it laid down, these fish are more dispersed or all over. And like I said, you can cover versus anchoring up and just covering that one spot and waiting for them fish to come to you. You're going to the fish, So, and they will disperse. The schools won't be as tight because they're not wind driven anymore. The bait's not getting pounded into one small spot. That all dispersed too. So, and the other thing is that it's a nice way to work the drop offs. Typically what's going to happen, this is pretty shallow up here on Butamore. We're working from 5 to about 8 feet, but if you're out on Lake Winnebago and you're working the rocks, them rocks can come up to 2.5, 3 feet, and then they also can drop down where you have some fine gravel in 14 to 15 feet of water. And most of the time what's going to happen, especially if the water's not so clear, the fish are going to drop off the edge of the reefs and they're going to drop into that deeper water. Well, by working these bottom bouncers with that single harness on there, it's an easy way to locate the fish and try to find out where they dropped off to. And again, you're covering so much more water versus waiting for them fish to move to you. The key is for me is that I'm always, my bottom bouncer is usually about 4 inches off the bottom, and I constantly keep checking it to make sure it's right there. I don't want that bottom bouncer dragging the bottom. I want to just keep it slightly elevated off the bottom, and when they do grab onto it, I just basically let them load up on it. Don't take them right away. It's amazing how far you can pull them fish, because a lot of times they'll come up behind that crawler and they'll grab the back of it and just hang on it. So what I do is I just let them hang there, and all of a sudden you'll feel like they'll turn their head, and all of a sudden you'll feel that surge, and that's when I usually set the hook on them. And you can always tell the difference between a sheephead or any other types of fish, because most of the time they'll try to peck at it and try to rip it off the hooks, where a walleye just is more of a smoother, gradual load. It loads up gradually.